might be wondering why I'm dressed the way I am, or why I have this wonderful hat on. Well, today, fellow YouTubers, I am vibing Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca. I tried to find the closest outfit to what she wore in the film, and I think that this outfit is pretty close. I have always loved this film for many reasons. The first one being that it's a true love story that doesn't have the happiest ending. It's not hyped up or drawn out to be something that it shouldn't be. Hollywood does not make movies like this anymore. They don't make the bittersweet ending that they used to make in films. One of the things that makes Casablanca unique is that it stays true to itself without giving in to the commonly held perceptions of the mainstream cinema. There aren't added scenes where there shouldn't be. There isn't filler material that shouldn't be there. It's just an overall beautifully adapted play, and it's a wonderful movie. Imagine if Humphrey Bogart wasn't the main lead character in this movie, or if Ingrid Bergman was just a maid. The film would not be as great as it is now, and it wouldn't stand the test of time like it has now either. The characters and their talent made it shine, which is why it was noticed and earned 8 Academy Award nominations, leading to 3 Oscars, 1 for Best Screenplay, 1 for Best Director, and 1 for Best Picture. This film is one of the most quotable films for me, mainly because of how Humphrey Bogart delivers his lines. He strikes the scene with a debonair yet assertive talent that leaves you wanting more from him. He commands attention and respect in the role that he plays, and it really shines throughout his acting career, not just in this movie. Ingrid Bergman takes us on a journey throughout the many emotions of being torn between 2 men whom she loves, and although she is trying to avoid one, ultimately ends up running into him. It's almost like fate was tempting them to be together one more time, to have that opportunity at happiness that they could have kept going from before and they didn't. If you haven't seen this movie and you don't like spoilers, please turn off the video now. I get into some pretty interesting things towards the end and I don't want to ruin it for anyone. When Humphrey is covering for Ingrid in the final scenes, with her husband standing there, asking why she was at Humphrey Bogart's room the night before, he covers by saying that she came by for the travel paperwork and keeps a very straight, upright posture, even though you can tell that he's torn apart inside. And it really shows how much depth his character truly has. A man willing to set aside his own happiness for the woman he loves because he knows she'll be better off with the husband she's with, and makes friends with her husband to prove how much he cares about her, is just, it's amazing. He cares about her more than he wants to admit, and he hides it, or he thinks he hides it, throughout the movie, and she can just see right through him. It's downright gentlemanly and magical, in a sense. His character is a perfect specimen of selflessness and modesty, paired with her love-harboring faithfulness. And it just, the way that they play off of each other throughout the entire movie is pretty amazing. And even though when you first watch the movie, she doesn't even appear in it until it's either 24 minutes in or 27 minutes in, I'm not exactly sure on the time. It's between 24 and 27 minutes in. But that entire time you're getting all of Humphrey Bogart's anxiety and how much he's hiding the pain with sarcasm throughout the entire movie. And you get that little bit of the backstory of what he's doing with his life since she's not in it. The friendship between Bogart and Dooley Wilson in the film, which is the piano player, shows how Bogart was hiding that broken heart. He jokes with him, he says certain lines when, saying that he doesn't care, or that's just how it is, and love's just not there anymore, and he doesn't believe it, when he knows that he really does. Later in the film, you see him kind of crumbling away from that and realizing that love is still out there, when he allows a newlywed couple to win while gambling so that they can actually get home. And it shows his tender and compassionate side. As much as he wants to hide it, especially with the war going on and everything else, Germans busting into his bar and taking over, he still manages to find the time to set aside to go over and talk to the men in this couple and realize that he's a good man and know that he just really needs to get back on his feet so he can get his bride home. It's just, it's really awesome. I really like that scene. He still believes in love. He's just jaded by the pain and anguish of Bergman's rejection because she never met back up with him. We can't forget about the display of talent by Peter Lorre in this film, who was also in The Maltese Falcon with Bogart, and he was also in Frank Capra's Arsenic and Old Lace with Cary Grant. What I wouldn't give to go back in time and work with these talented and amazing actors and actresses. I would love to go back. I mean, look at me. I look like I fit in, for God's sake. I love that whole era, everything that was going on then. It's always fascinated me. I thought it was just really, really amazing, and I would just jump at that opportunity if that ever happened. If anybody knows how to build a time machine, tell me. It'd just be really cool to go back for that. Couple of fun facts for everyone, and for all of you who say this line and never realize it's not in the film, "Play it again, Sam" is never said in the film. It is the most improperly quoted line from this movie. Ingrid Bergman, Ilsa, says, "Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by." She doesn't say, "Play it again, Sam," nor does Humphrey Bogart say, "Play it again, Sam." He just says, "Play it," and then gets angry because Sam doesn't want to play it. Some scenes from the film were done in Flagstaff, Arizona, which I've never been to, although I lived in Arizona for 10 years. Never been to the Grand Canyon either, although I lived there for 10 years. I know, sad, sad, sad thing. I thought that was kind of cool, though. They filmed in an area where I could have been. I just never went. And Humphrey Bogart had to wear platform shoes while standing next to Ingrid Bergman. I honestly didn't realize that until I looked that one up, and I was like, no way, seriously? But it's true. He had to wear platform shoes. He's a short man, and he'd have to wear platform shoes around me as well because I'm pretty tall. I mean, I'm, what, 5'10.5" if I stand up straight? I don't slouch. But I wouldn't mind. He could wear platform shoes. Even without the platform shoes, he can stand around me because, I don't know, there's just something very sexy about a man that holds himself with high regard and confidence and demands attention when walking into a room. Oh, sorry. Anyways, I enjoyed the flashback scenes to Paris and the way that the story laid out the backstory of their initial romance. I enjoyed the entire movie, really, but the one thing I remember the most is when the plane is just about to take off at the end, and you can tell it's a model plane. They gave it perspective by having shorter actors stand next to the plane, and I always thought that was really interesting because I would watch the film and tears and all streaming down the face, and I'm sitting there and I just kind of tilt my head to the side and go, huh, either that plane is really, really big or those actors are really, really small. But either way, it looks kind of odd, but it was a model, and they used shorter actors to film. Overall, this is a magnificent film. Many times over, it's been rated high on the best movies of all time. I know for me, it's always going to be one of my favorite movies. So now I must go, and to quote Ilsa, I didn't count the days. I'm happy to be back on the Burns, and I look forward to sending out more reviews for you guys to watch. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you don't own Casablanca in any format, I would suggest buying it immediately. Pick up some popcorn, get some drinks, grab a box of tissues, you know you're going to use them. Sit down and enjoy one of the greatest films ever made. Back when talent was pure talent. There weren't laugh tracks inserted. They didn't use special effects to make everything seem better than it was. It was just what the actor had, what they brought to the set that day, and how it played out, and it's just amazing. I own it on Blu-ray, and it looks very, very spectacular. I love it. I absolutely love it. And yes, to answer your question, I cry every single time that plane leaves without Bogart on it. I can't help it. It's just a very touching and sad moment that he gives up everything so she can have everything. And he just deals with that pain and sticks it away because he'd rather see her happy than worry about his own happiness. And it just, I'm going to cry now. It's just a very touching and wonderful film. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!